welcome to the weekend edition, Sunday edition. I'm your host, Phat Joe. I'm in the kitchen as always, because that's my favorite place to be. I've got some special guests here with us. We've got Devin Hogan. Welcome to the weekend. Oh, you want to shake my hand?
Shake
yeah, all right, high five. Welcome to the weekend. No, man, you gotta hit me right.
Gotta hit me right.
Gotta hit me right.
Yeah, you gotta hit me right. Congratulations on your restaurant, right? 6 months old.
6 months old. Yeah.
And you're gonna be whipping up some stuff for us here. Is it gonna be anything from your deli restaurant, or are you doing something different today?
Yeah, so we specialize in some pastas at Smack, so I'm gonna definitely show you how to make some pastas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go through pasta sauce, and then I'm gonna make you a cheesecake as well that we have in our patisserie side. So
but we lactose intolerant. Are we gonna be able to handle it? Is this like a lactose-free?
No lactose today.
Then you know what? We're gonna blow up this entire studio. But thank you for coming to join us. And then we've got Jazz Muso. I was reading your biog. This is Nomfundo Xaluva, and I was reading your biog, and it said that you graduated cum laude with distinction in music.
Yeah.
Like what does that mean?
You know, it's just fancy words for like,
listen to it, try to play it off.
You know, so yeah, I do have it. It's a, you know, cum laude, which is distinction.
Get out of here. That means you graduated first in your class.
Basically,
something like that, yeah?
Something to that effect, yeah.
All right, well, we're looking forward to hearing some of your music, and thank you once again for coming to grace us. As a matter of fact, you're going to perform something right now, right?
Yes, I am.
What are you performing?
I'm performing a song titled Bayateta, which means
damn.
they're talking.
Yeah, about who?
Well, you know, whoever you are in life, people are always talking about you,
yeah.
you know, and it's just about...
Holla. Look at her, she's going through a moment today.
Yeah, so it's a song that says, you know what, whether you do something good, people talk. Whether you don't do anything, people talk. You just got to keep your head up high.
All right, I can't wait to hear the song. So you go ahead and get ready to give us that song. Khanyi, what's happening at the table? It's nothing but ladies, beautiful ladies, might I add.
Yes, no, the table is beautiful. Happy Sunday. Welcome to it. This is the weekend edition with myself, Khanyi and Joe, and I'm sitting with Lisa Chait and Farah Fortune. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And welcome to the loft. It's beautiful, isn't it?
It is beautiful here. I could live here.
You could live here?
I could.
You could live here? With Joe and me?
With you, I don't know about Joe. I don't know him that well. I don't know what his habits are like, and you know. But you, I know you. I've known you a long time, so I'm cool with you.
Thank you for joining us. He cooks.
No offense, Joe.
He's in the kitchen.
Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the show.
Yeah. He's in the kitchen.
Do you know what? That's a good start. Hey, you're in the kitchen.
You can have the dude in the kitchen.
Yeah, there you go. I see that. I'm set for life.
Yes. Sisters running it, 4 sisters in the show and 2 guys. Good luck to the men. Welcome to it, guys. It's going to be an amazing show. But first of all, let's start with a performance called Bayateta.
betha kude kuse bazintoni bayathetha akuncetukhala abantu balomhlaba
was talking to me, you know? If you don't understand it, it means people will talk, whether it's good or bad. You are beautiful, walking high, but they will talk, and it doesn't help to cry. Keep the conversation going right here on Weekend Edition on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, The Weekend on 3. See you after the break.
It's a weekend. It's a
Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm sitting here with the lovely Farah Fortune. I love your hair.
Thank you.
I wish I could do that with my hair, but I'm balding.
Yeah, no, sorry, it's not gonna help you.
It's not gonna happen,
No.
eh? But like, you're in such a cool industry. Do you have, is that as part of your look, kind of like your brand marketing? Like, do you have to, because I don't have to be cool. Kanye has to be cool. I can look, you know, like an old man if I want to, but like, you've just got this intimidating, happening, stylish, on-point look.
Why did you say intimidating first?
It is intimidating because you're so stylish. It's like it takes you. You know, you take a deep breath before you. You know. It's striking.
It's part of. I guess it's part of the package, but also it's also nice to stand out.
Yeah.
It's good to have your own brand image and look after yourself. I mean, I'm 37. Like,
wow.
I need
Own
to,
it, girl. I'm 41. Holla.
You know?
We've been doing this.
So I need to look after myself.
Today. Yeah. Well, look. Thank you for coming to hang out with us this Sunday. We've got you on because you've obviously, there's a lot people can learn from you, and you're doing amazing things. And there's a bunch of things that I wanted to talk to you about. But first and foremost, it is Women's Month.
Yes.
Women's Day. It's happening on the 9th. And you have this company. It's female-led, and it's female-run.
Yes.
It's all women. You only employ women.
I only employ women. My supplier's a woman. My accountant's a woman. My lawyer's a woman.
And what's the name of the company?
I should have said that.
You shouldn't have said that.
I should have said the other way around, shouldn't I? Because we do have men, like, we use men now and again, but I prefer to use
men now and again. Yeah,
that
I like
sounded
that.
so wrong.
You can use me.
But I prefer using female suppliers. It's such a male-dominated industry when I got into it anyway.
Which part? Because you're in so many different sectors.
Well, I mean, PR itself
Okay.
is very male. I mean, even though the companies might be run by women, they're actually owned by men.
I've just realized that.
So I felt like I needed to give women a chance. And I mean, I wanted to give my staff a chance to learn and go off and own their own companies.
Yeah.
So it's very important for me to have female staff, yes.
Wow. The name of your company is African Star
Communications.
Right, okay. And what is the focus, what are the areas of focus in that business?
We have 3 divisions to the company, celebrity PR, corporate PR, and event management.
Okay. And which would you say keeps you the most busy?
They all keep us the most busy, but you know, corporate makes the most money.
Okay.
Celebrity is very much where the passion is.
Right.
And I also love events. So it was just made sense to combine the 3.
And tell us, take us through the journey of actually setting up the business as a woman in South Africa. When did you start the business, and what was it like trying to start up a business in this environment?
I think starting a business in any environment is very tricky. I started this business in 2008. I was working for someone at the time. I absolutely hated, I loved my job, I didn't like my boss. And I felt that I wanted to earn my own money and put my daughter in a position where, you know, we weren't limited to things in life, where there was material or just experiences or anything else. I wanted to be able to not be limited by a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I started this business. I didn't have any savings. At the time, there really weren't a lot of funds around for women to actually start their own business. I got turned down by the DTI, I got turned down by the bank. I literally got turned down by everybody. And just said to me that, you know, my business plan wasn't strong enough. So I guess it was more, I wanted to prove I could actually do this. But I was broke for a really, really long time. I mean, I started this business with the last 1,000 Rand I had. I spent 589 Rand on a CC, and the rest of it was these really ugly business cards. Really ugly business cards. But they worked. I mean, I survived. It was hard. Like the first 3-4 years was really hard. I was broke for a long time. I got evicted from my house.
Oh, no.
I lived in a car with my daughter.
No ways.
But while I was running this business, and obviously, you know, those things are hard, you know, and you want to keep going because you don't want to give up, because everybody says, you know, go and find a job and, you know, just so your daughter's okay. But I didn't want to do that. I knew I could make this work.
Yeah.
And 8 years later, you know, I don't have debt. I employ 6 staff. I pay their salaries.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you really have to just keep at it. It really does work if you believe that it'll work.
That is incredible. First question I want to ask, based on just what you said, is
Sure.
who were you working for?
Well, I can't tell you that.
You were like, I'm out of here.
I was working for another PR company, but
Yeah.
I was literally at this point where I was handling 3 accounts, and I was making 12,000 Rand a month, and I had rent to pay, I had my daughter's school fees to pay, I had to make sure there was groceries, bills, everything else. And I mean, I think the point of realizing where you really, really broke is not even where Eskom comes to cut off your electricity, where they come and take the box out of your house. Like,
Oh,
they
they took
actually
it
take the
out.
box out your house.
I didn't know they
Then you
could do
realize
that.
yeah, when you
You know
really,
what-
really in
You know what
debt.
trick I learned? Like in a lot of houses, what they do is they come and they switch off the box in the street.
Oh, okay.
And if you can open it, you
Oh,
can
really?
switch it back
I didn't
on.
know. No, they took the box out of my house. They were like, no, lady, you not. And then I got evicted. And,
Yeah.
you know, I realized at that point that, you know, I was really in trouble, but I didn't want to give up. And I didn't give up. But it was hard. Like, it was really hard. You know, you for a long time, I mean, I'll never forget, literally fighting for 3 or 4 months straight. I could only feed my daughter 2-minute noodles.
No way.
And-
How old was she at the time?
Oh, she was, I mean, when I started this business, she was, I think, 3.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, she didn't know any different. She thought it was just great. She didn't have to chew a lot of other
Your
things.
story reminds me of Pearl. Like, Pearl has so many stories about
No,
like, how
I
she
know.
couldn't feed you. So
I know.
you know
Pearl
her
and I have
story
had
as
this
it, yeah.
conversation. So yeah, I know what it's like to kind of watch your daughter eat
Yeah.
and wait till she finishes, and whatever she doesn't finish, then I would eat. And I've been through that, and I'm so grateful for going through that. I appreciate everything I have right now. I mean, I taught myself so many financial lessons that I didn't have before. And I also taught myself, you know, that you can get through anything. Anything that happens to you in life is really just, it's just a bump in the road. You know, it gets better.
Tell me about the sleeping in your car bit. Where did you park? For how long? So many people have this story.
Yeah.
And I just find it incredible.
It wasn't that long. I'm very lucky. I think eventually I did ask her dad for some help.
Okay.
And I didn't ask my family, and I know a lot of this, even my own family are going to watch this now and don't know about it. Because I did have pride. I wanted to do this by myself, and I wanted to make sure that I could. I mean, when I remember not having petrol for my car, and, you know, I had to go to meetings, and I lived in Randburg. I mean, you know, Joey, I lived in Randburg, and my meetings would be in Stanton. And I would literally take high heels in my bag and flip-flops, and then I'd walk to my meetings, and then you get there really early so you can wipe yourself down in that bathroom so you don't not sweaty going to pitch for something. And when you're done, you take your heels off, and you put your flip-flops back on, and you walk back home. And I mean, it's worth it. The thing is, anything you want in life, you have to work for. And I think you just get to that point where you know you want it
I'm
so bad.
focusing on this because a lot of times people, when they sell the entrepreneurial story or the business story, they
No one tells you
Yeah,
this
and-
stuff. No one tells you how hard it is.
They go right past this part of it, and there's that 5 to 10 year period where
Yeah.
you're actually, you know, going through far worse than what most people would be willing to go through.
Yes, I mean, I've heard stories worse than mine. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very grateful. For me, I still feel like, yes, I went through it, but I've heard worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever find yourself dodging the repo man?
Oh,
Trying
all
to-
the time!
Parking the car.
Do you know how many times I would not answer my door so they didn't come and repossess my car, all those things. I've been through all of that. And like I said, you know what? At the time, you're so ashamed because you're like, how did I get here?
Exactly.
But I look back on it now and I'm just like, I'm so grateful for everything.
Right.
I mean, I have a new car, but I still have that car that they were, you know, that
That
they
they were
wanted to
gonna
repossess.
repossess, yeah.
I've paid it off now. But I mean, it's like, you know, those little things remind you how grateful you are.
Yeah.
And it's nice because you know, I remember moving into the house that we're in now, and this is a bought house. It's not a rented house. And my daughter said to me, Mommy, I know we can't paint the room or anything, but do you mind if I put a post up? And I said, baby, this is ours. You can do what you want.
And break the wall.
Exactly. And we painted the room and everything, and she was so happy. And she always, for the first few months we were there, she's like, I don't want to unpack this because when we move again, because she had this, because, we moved a lot because I could, we could only afford the rent there for so long, and then I'd have to find something else. And when we stayed in this house, it took her a while to understand that this was ours and we didn't have to move again.
Wow.
I was like, baby, I've already picked the tree where we're going to stand next to him and take your matric picture. Don't worry, we're staying in this house. We're not moving.
That's
so that was a
amazing.
good, it was a good feeling to have that for my daughter, to know she has stability in her life. Yeah.
Wow, what an entrepreneurial story. So, and now what do the banks say? I'm sure they're trying to throw money at you.
Wait, I was
and you
at
don't
an
need
event
it.
last night,
Yeah.
and for the first time, when banks start inviting you to the real, prestigious events, because now you have money, I was like, oh, I'm at this place, I can actually eat my money back from the bank now.
Right. They always say that banks give you money when you don't need it.
Yes.
But when you need it, they're like, they turn their back, right?
So true.
And what's it like to, you've managed some celebrity artists.
Yes.
You've managed AKA, you've managed Casper, which is really interesting to me because they have this bitter rivalry now. Is it because of you?
No, everybody asks me this question. Please let me tell you now.
Yeah, tell
I
me.
have nothing to do with this. I
Yeah.
never did have anything to do with it. It's got nothing to do with me.
All right.
That rivalry started long before I was ever in the picture.
You see, she's ducking and diving. We're gonna
No,
we're
I'm
gonna
not.
dig deeper. We're gonna dig deeper. We're gonna ask you some more questions about this. But guys, want you guys to stay tuned, stick around with us. This is the weekend edition. We've got ads to go to. We want you guys to connect with us on social media. Don't forget, on Facebook we are the Weekend Edition, and on Instagram and Twitter it's the Weekend on 3. See you after this.
It's the weekend. It's the weekend.
Welcome back to the Weekend Edition right here on SABC 3. And I'm sitting with a wonderful woman that doesn't know that I know her. She was nominated for a SAFTA a few years ago for her show called I Am Woman, against me, my talk show. And she took the SAFTA from me. So today I'm sitting with the enemy, a wonderful woman. She's a producer, presenter. She gives women a home where we can share our thoughts, laughter, and everything. I'd like to welcome Lisa Chait. And I hope I said her surname correctly. How was that?
You did. You got the name right. I'm stunned.
Thank you.
It wasn't me. It was the show that won the award.
I know, but it was against me, and I was dressed, ready, sitting prim and proper, waiting for my show name to go up, and it went to I Am Woman. What a waste of hair, makeup, and lashes.
Yeah, but not for us.
Yes.
We're in
Welcome
it
to the
together.
show.
We're in
Yes.
it together.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's good to be here. Thank you
It's
for
so good to
inviting me.
have you. So your first show went out actually a few days ago on the
Yeah,
4th.
it did. It went out on the 4th at
Yes.
9 p.m. on Sabka. I call
Yes.
it Sabka 3.
Yes.
And we're very excited. It's great. It's 13 one-hour documentaries on the journeys of women.
Yes.
When we stole the SAFTA from you,
Yes.
now I'm onto it. Now I'm onto it. You've started something. We'd done 2 series already. We'd already done 2, and they were shorter. They were 20. We'd done 52 half-hour stories. And then the SABC thought that what they wanted to do is deepen it and widen it. And so they said, just to kind of lead into Women's Day, Women's Month,
Yeah.
they wanted full dockies. So we've been travelling the country. We're still doing it now, shooting and packaging, you know about that. And it's been amazing, really telling the stories of women's lives. And the real, they always call it the unique selling point.
Yes.
So we had to find a unique selling point, which was pretty easy. And it's about those moments of change, those pivotal moments of change in women's lives. We all have them. I mean, you've taken loads of leaps this morning,
Yes.
from leaping out of bed,
Yes.
or flying in Joburg, Cape Town, leaping.
to studio, all
Yeah,
of that.
yeah. So we all have them, and then the idea was to find women who have very strong stories, very strong backstories, life stories, and then to track those moments where something happened to them or they made a decision and life changed as a result of that decision in that moment.
Yes.
So it's really cool. They're life stories, documentaries, but they have this strand that goes through.
Well, I'd like to watch a bit of the show because we have it here, and for you at home to also get an idea what I Am Woman is about. Here it is.
August is Women's Month, and I Am Woman Leap of Faith returns with a brand new series of intimate portraits featuring 13 exceptional South African women. Women who've walked their own path and made a mark in their communities, who've fought for their freedom and shared their vision with the world. Women whose leaps of faith have transformed their lives and ours. Don't miss I Am Woman Leap of Faith Season 3. Starts August the 4th at 9 p.m. on SABC3.
It is so lovely to see women supporting women, because there's this notion that women never support each other. We always bring each other down somehow.
I think we do. You know, I stole the SAFTA from you, or we did, and look how we're hanging together.
Yeah.
I think we do, though. I think there is the thing that women do pull each other down, but generally, and the feeling that we've had, and just how we've just met, and there's this connect, you know,
we vibed.
We are together. We are. I think we're a lot more together than not.
Do you personally do these interviews with these women as you listen to their stories?
Sure. So that's the fun. That's
Yes.
what I love doing.
Yes. So you're like mini therapists, because you go through everything with them.
Yeah, you do. Look, you spend a lot of time with people before, which is great, because I've done some work where you're flying into a country and you have to interview someone who you've never met, and you don't really know the depth of who they are. And luckily, we're able to research and spend hours either on the phone, if it's not in Cape Town where we're based, or face-to-face,
Yes.
and tell the story. And we laugh and we cry, and it's very beautiful. So it's not therapy, but it's deep. And I mean, the main interviews, often it's cut down, obviously, but you spend 2-3 hours, you know about that. And very moving, and it's just life. You know, if we were sitting and talking about each other's lives, we all have full lives.
Yes.
And you just feel it, and I just often say, we all say in the team, and we're a great team, it's like we do this, we get paid a little bit.
A little bit?
Just a little. A little bit.
Yes.
It's amazing. I would do this for free. I would.
So you must be passionate about this.
Yeah, I think it's, I love stories. A lot of us do, and I get to do this and sit, and also looking for women and meeting them, and trying also to see there's a challenge, because it's not just finding stories that are interesting. You need to find stories where there's a leap of faith that can translate into, or many, that can translate into a 48-minute documentary. So you and I, or I'll take me for example, I've taken lots of leaps to get here. There's lots to do, but it's not, you know, it's not going to have the depth or the gravitas to make it into a film. And it's very personally rewarding. I love the series. It really is for me, and I'm sure for my colleagues as well.
And I think the show and yourself, Lisa, have become such a mouthpiece for women. When you look at women today, especially in the history of South Africa, would you say that we've evolved?
I think we have more backbone, and we speak out because there's more of that. You know, the general sort of consciousness and way in which we are is, it's like people go to therapy today and nobody says, "Oh, you're weird." So it's come to a point where women are speaking out, but it's hard. I think it's hard for people. You know, I think people struggle, and I think that we aren't as together, broadly speaking, as we'd like to be. We've progressed, but there's a long way to go. I mean, I think the fact that the next president of the United States might,
we're holding thumbs.
it might, you know, that is a big step.
Yeah.
I'm personally not a huge fan, but it is a big
Look,
step.
I prefer her than a few other names, because now we're, you know, we don't have much of a selection, so I'd rather have her than anyone else on that list.
For sure, it is extraordinary, though. I mean, that those are the options.
Crazy.
But anyway, there's been huge progress, but we should never have been in a position where so much progress had to be made. I mean, you've still got people in Pakistan and India being killed by their brothers. You've seen all of that. We all have. So it's an ongoing fight, and I think it's an ongoing fight for the humanity of people.
Yes.
Of us.
Yeah.
You know, where are we? Turn on the news every day. There's stuff. I mean, hectic stuff happening.
It is hectic. You know, 90% of the time when I sit with women around this table, it's always a struggle between career and making it work, and always remembering that you're a woman and trying to find your space in society.
Yeah.
What is the one common issue that women share throughout all races?
Having to dig deep and find courage and make it happen. Having to dig deep and make it happen, whether it's that you're managing children, you're managing something that's happened in your life. It's this thing, somebody said, I wish I could remember it now. It's just this ability to face the reckoning and make it happen. And for everybody, it's different at different times.
It is.
And all these stories, and it's not all sort of deep and traumatic. And I mean, we laugh and we make friends. It's fabulous. I mean, we've got friends all over the country, all of us. And we've also got, of course, there's a crew. So there are men on our crew. And I'll never forget one of the soundmen, Henno, if he's watching, he'll laugh. I turned around and he was sitting knitting with one of our ladies. It's very close. But it's definitely that moment of, okay, I'm going to make it happen. There's no stepping away. It's facing and moving on and making a plan. That's just common. And might be for men too.
But what age do you think women get to a point where they're comfortable with themselves? Because you've spoken to a lot, but what is the average age of women that are willing to sit down with you and say, this is who I am, these are my challenges, this is what I'm going for, these are my dreams?
Yeah. It's so interesting you asked that because we're just filming a story of a 32-year-old. And when I first heard about the story, I thought to myself, hold on a second, there's not enough life.
She must be complicated. 32 is rough.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of, okay. And I thought initially, oh, there's not going to be enough tread. And there is. There really is. It depends on people's stories, and it depends on whether, what the leap is. If there's someone who's 18 and they've taken an amazing leap of faith, and there's layering in that, and there are other people we can interview, and there are photographs from her life, and maybe a bit of archive, and we can build a beautiful story, then there's no rule. I have noticed, though, that as we get sort of into our 40s, 50s, 60s, there's more a reflective settling. There's more reflection because there are more years to look back on, and we've had to face ourselves. You know, we keep on coming back to ourselves.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean, certainly in this instance or anywhere, that younger people... This 32-year-old, she's such an old soul.
Wow.
I mean, she's got it. And I think, wow, we've made this huge film about a 32-year-old. She's still got all these years ahead of her.
To do all
so there are
these
no
things.
rules. But age does bring life, and it brings...
experience as well.
Life experiences. You know more, and you know yourself more, what you like and what you don't like.
Yes.
Both.
Wow, Lisa, it's amazing. But later on in the show, I'd like to go back into finding out who you are. Because, I mean, when I read your bio, I was quite impressed with producing, making TV, and also online. What do you do online?
Well, everything is online these days, you know.
Yes.
Hopefully the show's online as well.
Of course, it has to.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll speak to them now, yes.
Send up the flare.
Yes.
I started a project called Life Stories, which was is a hobby, started as a hobby, and the idea is to film and I make books and audio CDs of people's life stories for their children and their children's children. So imagine you in your 60s, 70s, 80s have me or anybody sitting and chatting to you and interviewing you, and you start off by looking straight into that camera and saying, hi, you know, I'm Khanyi and I am your ancestor. You might never meet me, so it might be your daughter's children's children. This is who I am and this is your story. So you'll look there, and then that I upload them online and also make DVDs, private mostly because it's for people, and they share it with family members. So that's the power of online, because people are all around the world, and also it's the power of archive.
Yes.
So I did this for my grandfather, and he's online for us. So when he's been dead many, many years. And when we talk about him, then we just click on my website, his story is public, and we can just see him talking. So that's the power of, and I just see it as a very a powerful archive.
It's a great tool because we don't have tablets anymore.
Exactly.
We're going to find underground. They're going to dig one day and there's nothing there.
Yeah. And online's also great for searching and researching stories.
Yes.
And just for saying, we've got the episode, they all go online after broadcast. And it's, I don't like it to a large degree because we're addicted.
Yes.
And I am addicted to my phone. I thought I never would be. And you're checking your emails and going, but at the same time, it's so full of resources for us.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. As you know, that today's show is based on celebrating women, because on the 9th of August, we all know that it's Women's Day. Keep the conversation going by letting us know what you think and what your woman moment is on hashtag The Weekend Edition, Facebook, The Weekend Edition, Twitter and Instagram, The Weekend on 3. See you after this.
It's a weekend. It's a
All right, welcome back to the Weekend Edition, Sunday edition. The entire squad is in the kitchen. We've got my man, Devin, who's gonna... Devin, I haven't seen, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is, and I don't know what that is. I don't have these things, so just walk us through what are we doing and what's happening here.
Cool, so today I'm going to be making some pasta dough, simple pasta dough for you. It's fun to do in the kitchen. It's not as challenging as everyone thinks. So I'm going to break it down, give you some nice tips.
Have any of you made pasta at home before?
Not a chance.
I've made pasta, but not from scratch.
No, not from scratch either.
All right.
But I see a lot of gadgets instead of food.
Is it better to make, I hear it's better to make it at home. What's the truth here?
So definitely, if you come through to Smack, you can taste some of the pasta we have up on the walls there.
Yeah.
We roll every day in the morning. I'm rolling pasta.
So you guys are doing the spaghetti and the spinning and the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot better. The texture, it's amazing. We'll cook it for you today, and you can be the judge.
All right, perfect. All right, cool. Walk us through it. Let's
Cool.
go.
So I'm going to start off by making, it's a simple dough.
All right.
We've got some flour here, 200 grams of flour.
Holla.
Pop it in there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And then
No
we're gonna-
yeast, no baking soda, none of that. Just
No,
flour.
none of that. Then 2 eggs. You
Okay.
want to go with the egg? Good with cracking egg?
No.
Do not put the shells in, John.
All right. Let me...
Cool.
Just 2 eggs, right?
2 eggs.
All right, there we go.
Cool. And then 15 mils of olive oil. You want to use good eggs. That's how you get good pasta.
How do you determine
you know-
if an egg is
yeah.
good?
Well, free range is usually good. The more yellow yolk is, the better the egg is.
Right.
So if you get those nice lumo yellow yolks,
Yeah.
you know you're onto a good egg.
Can I ask you something about eggs? Whenever I go overseas, right,
Yeah.
I notice that the eggs are white, whereas ours are yellow, like or brown, the shell.
Yeah.
What is that all
it's
about?
It's just a different hen.
Oh, okay.
So different hen laying the egg.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
It's South African egg.
So
Yeah,
It's dark, it's
it freaks
Benelin.
me out when I see it, you know?
pop this on, and we're
Yeah.
going to knead this. I'm going to start off slow, add some salt into there.
All right. Why are we adding the salt?
Salt's good for
a flavor enhancer,
Yeah,
okay.
flavor enhancer. And we're just going to let that knead and all come together.
All right. Could you do this by hand if you don't have this?
You can do this by hand. That's the proper way to do it. This
Yeah.
is just easier, less messy. You don't have flour all over the counter.
Right.
So if you're doing it at home, you
Yeah.
can just do it on the counter, and once it all comes together,
Yeah.
you can knead it out.
So you be just doing that all day long, and you know, you can do that with the kids and.
exactly.
Okay, cool.
You get the whole family involved.
Right. Kanye's looking at this thing like, not me.
No, I'm the gadget girl. That's good.
Yeah, so this makes it a lot easier. You don't have to knead it as long.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what kind of, once you make this pasta, can you make any type of pasta with it? Like, can you turn it into lasagna, do spaghetti, do...
Yeah. So there's a whole, so that's where this guy comes in. We can, this thing will cut different shapes. So you can get spaghetti, you can get tagliatelle.
Okay.
We can cut it by hand, thicker into pappardelle. We can leave sheets for lasagna.
Right.
Doing the little, like, penne and the twirlier bits is much harder.
But what if I don't have this?
If you don't have this, then
You're out of luck.
Out of luck. You can go buy a ready store-bought, or you can come through to Smack. We sell our pasta as well. You can come buy some pasta through there.
Okay.
Cool.
I've seen the Italian guys just take like the dough and like spin it
they
and
spin
turn
it
it
and
into
they do
spaghetti
that.
strings without that.
Italians.
That's the Asians.
Or is that
That's
the
the
Asians
Asians,
that
yeah.
do
Oh, is it
that?
Asians?
the
So
Asian
that's the rice noodles, and like the vermicelli.
No, I've seen spaghetti being done like that. I
Spaghetti.
promise you, yeah.
Go check it out.
And
We'll definitely go check it out.
All right, so you can't do that with this, of course.
No.
All right, so how long should this take?
So this you'll leave in here for about 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll get that all, once it all comes together.
All right. Then let's, have we got some pre-made pasta that we could
Yes,
use?
we have. So switch this guy. So once this is done, you'll bring it all together.
Right.
And put it in some cling film and pop it in the fridge for an hour.
Okay.
And then you'll land up with something that looks like this. So this is nice, comes together. And what you're looking for is like a nice soft dough, like a Play-Doh almost.
Right.
So
That's not the color of pasta, though, right? I'm used to seeing a white pasta. This looks like free-range, organic pasta.
this is home. You're buying commercial things.
Yeah, so when you buy
Mass-produced
exactly
organic.
commercial pasta. So when
Yeah.
I said good eggs, so
Yeah.
this is that you know your pasta's good because it starts to look yellow.
Yeah.
You know there's good eggs gone into here.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Not
Yeah.
just bought off the shelf.
Farah.
So if you're making this at home, what a cool thing to do is if you make a big batch of it and then you freeze it into little
freezer, right,
portions,
yeah.
pop it in the freezer, and then if you leave for work, you just take that out, put it on the counter, and when you come back in the afternoon, it'll be defrosted, and it's best to roll at room temperature. So then you don't have to make it, you can...
From scratch, yeah.
From scratch when you come home.
And it'll
if
still
you're
be as
rolling your
fresh.
own
It doesn't
pasta.
lose anything by putting it in the freezer.
No, it doesn't lose anything.
All right, let's get to it.
Cool, so you're gonna get some flour onto this.
Is that bolted onto the table?
Yes, it is. It's fixed onto the table.
Has a whole different
Did you
kitchen
guys
at
know
home.
that?
Yes, yeah, no.
Cool. So we're gonna feed it into the machine.
Do you feel like you want to speak Italian when you...
I do. Like,
Do you feel it coming
good,
on?
there should be that. Like, yeah, I do.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Gorgeous.
So we come up with that, and then we're slowly going to go thinner and thinner and thinner.
I want to see how you do that. So,
So I'm going like to now the middle. So I started on the
you have to be
thickest.
familiar with what this machine
Yes,
does,
you
because you could
can't
end up with the super thinnest.
Yeah. So I'm going now into the next thinnest option. Well, so we're in the middle now.
Can you do that with human beings?
I think
I want to
so.
shed
yeah.
5.
Just go.
Some
The
kilos.
setting.
Yeah, I'm in for 5.
Cool. And then you always want to work with a lot of flour, otherwise your dough starts to stick together.
It's gorgeous.
Cool.
It's like a leather belt.
So now we're going on to the thinner section.
This would be the final roll, right?
We do 2 on the final roll to get
Okay,
it
cool.
thin.
All right.
Cool. So do you want to try and give it a hand at the pasta here? Get
Yeah,
the
go ahead,
motion
Khanyi. Get
going?
your hands dirty, girl.
There we go.
Khanyi, do you cook at home? No, I know you know.
I do.
Really?
Yeah, I've got
was
my
hesitant.
I know, she's
No,
like,
no, no,
"Hmm,
because
why
I
don't
know a girl like me doesn't look like they cook, but I do cook.
Oh, wow.
But outsourcing is always the best
Of
thing.
course, girl. Outsource.
Cool.
Create employment.
Wow.
This looks great.
It does.
Good fun.
Can you see yourself doing this at home?
No,
Not?
no.
Don't think it's fun to do with the kids?
No,
Yeah,
you see, the thing is,
daughter,
in my
get her
house,
involved.
my daughter cooks. She she loves being in the kitchen. She cooks everything. So she'll be doing all of this while I'm sitting here. She'll be cooking it at home.
She'll be cooking.
There's just things I won't do from scratch.
Like?
Sushi and pasta. I don't want to learn how to. I don't want to learn how to make my own sushi. I couldn't be bothered. And I don't want to learn how to make my own pasta.
Those guys spend years learning how to just cut fish.
I just want to eat it. I just want to like buy it.
Cool, yeah. So we're going for our last one, yeah?
I feel like I've worked hard enough in life to look at this chef
Hey, let's go.
option.
Yeah. But you know, for me, I find being in the kitchen, I actually enjoy being in the kitchen. It's so relaxing. Like, especially after a stressful day, sometimes I get this crazy inspiration to whip up something.
Yes, girl.
And just spending time in the kitchen and knowing that you're making something for yourself and people in the house. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just my estrogen talking.
It's very therapeutic to be in the kitchen.
It's very what?
Therapeutic.
Yeah,
Therapeutic, yeah. Especially like, I do a lot of this pasta. I'm rolling like 5 kilos of pasta in the morning. I find it so like, just relaxing, you know?
Guys,
You're
I
just
don't have that
going,
many
you've
problems
got
that I need to
your...
be that therapeutic. I'm sorry.
All right, so we've done it twice. What
So
do we
now
do
we've
now?
done it twice. So now we're gonna just cut it into sections.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Cool.
how you're going to make it into... This is... What kind of pasta are you making? What's it called, this one?
So
The
this,
shape,
if
it's
you
not
wanted
spaghetti,
to
obviously.
just, I'm gonna make tagliatelle.
Okay.
So you could make anything. If you wanted to do just lasagna, you would leave it like this. You could, and then you could, if you're making it at home, what's nice is you can pre-cut it to the size of your dish. So if you have a dish that's 30 centimeters long, you can make your pasta and roll it to 30 centimeters long.
Got you, got you.
But the spaghetti, how do you get from that?
So
Is there spaghetti?
yeah, so
Wow,
you
that's
can
going to
go
be fun.
into the
See how that
spaghetti.
comes out.
So we take the handle out and pop it into here.
Yeah,
Fancy gadgets.
Cool.
a flyby.
I like
And
the way it
then-
feels. It's like,
Yeah, it's really
it's like
soft
skin.
and cool. And then do you see how it's coming out
Oh,
of that
wow.
Yay,
That is so sexy.
And then we've got a pasta stand somewhere to dry it out. Cool.
It
You
looks like
knew what that was.
Yes.
You don't have to, this is all
On.
fancy. You can just,
You know that where you hang
Yeah,
your underwear?
in dorm. What do they call it?
The
Yeah.
things.
When
so
it rains.
you at home, you can just get a wooden spoon, put it on the edge, get a heavy pot and just hang it on there or
No,
in
we're
the
gonna get our
railing.
indoor washing stand and hang it on
Indoor
there.
washing
Laundry
line.
line.
Horse thing.
Okay? Or the horse.
The clothing horse.
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. And that's what we come out with.
That's beautiful.
It's really cool.
Who taught you how to make this?
Your
granny.
I learned, no, not my gran. I wish I could say, you know, my Italian grandmother, but no, there's no Italian in the family.
No.
So I learned at school, and then,
At school?
What school
Oh,
did
at
you go
Well,
to?
yeah, so
I was going to
cooking-
say, what school?
He was that lesson.
Home economics.
Because you know, home economics did not offer pasta making.
Home economics is about cottage
You guys
pies,
didn't do
honey.
pasta in home ec?
No, it was about
We
cottage
knitted, we
pies,
crocheted,
bap,
we ironed.
those things.
Oh, you were making pasta.
Yeah, I know. We weren't taught about making pasta,
no.
okay?
Home ec.
Got you.
We were taught about how to look after babies.
Right.
That So cool.
Cool,
It's really, really
all there
great.
is to it. I don't think it's that hard, is it?
No, it doesn't look hard when you do it, but if I did it, the pasta would be there, all over the place.
And that's what we got.
How long does it dry for?
So you can dry, it depends how hot it is, but usually about 5-6 hours it'll dry, but you can cook it from fresh as well.
5-6 hours.
5-6 hours it'll dry hard, and then you can leave it in the cupboard and it'll last, you know?
Oh, do you put it in the fridge after it's dried or cupboard?
No, cupboard, straight in the cupboard, in a packet,
Right.
and that'll last forever, necessarily.
All right, Devin.
Otherwise you can cook it fresh from
If you cook it fresh
when?
like that, will it still have the same consistency as if it had dried?
Yes, it will. It'll just take a lot shorter to cook. So if we cook it from fresh, it'll take about a minute and a
You
half
still
to
boil
cook.
it though?
Yeah, still boil it.
Okay.
And if it's dry, it'll take about 3 minutes, 4 minutes to cook.
But is it best from fresh?
Wow.
I would say so, yeah, best from fresh. It's always, you know, it's more impressive.
So you guys see yourself making this dish at
No,
home?
I'm gonna try just to see.
I think I'm going to do it with my son as well, man. Devin, thank you. All right, guys, we've got some bills to pay. The weekend edition continues, and Nomfundo is going to bless us with another beautiful performance. I'm going to ask you to just turn down the emotion a little bit.
Hey, you know?
Because Khanyi's on edge, and she's waterworks.
And everybody knows me. I'm here.
But she's going to bless us with another powerful, powerful performance. You don't want to miss any of it. The weekend edition continues after this. We'll be right back.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekend edition. You know, when we sit here, it means we are licensed to get deep. We're still in support of women as it is Women's Week, Women's Month. I call it a decade of women because we're taking over. I'd like to welcome Nomfundo Xaluva to the corner to speak to us. Hi. Sure, let's take a deep breath. Yes. When you were performing Bayakhuluma, I was like this because I think every woman, including myself, has been through that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Teta, and I love that you say it's Bayakhuluma,
Yeah, 'cause
because
I'm
that,
Zulu.
you bring it home, bring it to you.
You know,
yeah.
and in English would say,
Bayakhuluma,
they're
yeah,
talking.
They talk, but
Yes.
English doesn't quite strike it like that.
Yes,
Bayateta, you know,
Bayakhuluma,
Bayakhuluma, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those, I wrote that song actually, I was in varsity at the time, or I think I
Wow.
just graduated or whatever, and it was one of those situations where something happens in your personal life and everybody knows about it. You know what I mean? It's like your dirty laundry's been aired out, you know, for everybody to see kind of situation. And I've never been very active on social media and stuff, but friends of mine would say, hey, you know, this is what people are saying, and I saw this, and it's happening all the time. Did you hear? You know, and I wrote that song quite a while after that incident, because I thought to myself, the best thing you can do in those situations is not to say anything.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And that's why, you know, I was like, you know what, dimhle, you know, ndiyintombi enesidima and ndihambela phezulu, you know, keep it together no matter what they're saying. And it's so powerful, and I think only now, you know, that I'm a couple of years older, when I perform it, only now do I actually appreciate the depth of the song, because so many people can identify with it.
Yes. Do you think that women find it difficult to say, I am beautiful? Because when you said those words in a song, it's rare to find a woman, whether it's in a speech or a conversation, to actually say, I am beautiful. It may not be physical, but I'm beautiful.
But I'm beautiful, yeah. It is rare because, you know, we're very modest, or sometimes we're modest, or we don't want to own it. And how beautiful we are a lot of the time is determined by what people say. And so rarely do you find a woman who declares it to the self, that I'm beautiful. I don't care what you're saying. You know, behind closed doors, you can say whatever, but I'm beautiful. And when you believe that, like we were speaking earlier on, I was saying you radiate that joy and that beauty because it's coming from within. And I remember like performing the song at the State Theatre in April, and I could hardly fit a word in because there were like these girls in the front going, "Damn, yeah." It was the most beautiful thing ever, because they were just like, actually I'm
That's
beautiful.
who I am.
Yeah, so I think it's something we should do often, because it's good. It's good for us to believe in our inner beauty.
You're so warm.
Thank you.
You explain, and you're so articulate in you know, explaining yourself and your songs. You were brought up by your grandparents, like me.
Yeah.
Your Coco's child.
Yes, I am. Vaseline, lots of
Vaseline,
layers.
yes.
Spencer upon
Respect.
Spencer. Yeah,
Yes.
respect, yeah. I was, very fortunately so, because I was raised by my grandmother and my grandfather, so that family unit, that typical mother-father situation, and my mother was final year varsity at the time, and I was a complete surprise. I hate to say it on national TV. My grandparents are like, what? There's a baby? Because she was at varsity, and somebody was like, oh, by the way, can you come and get your grandchild? They were like, say what? But within like a day or two, everyone was fighting over me, to babysit me, and it was great, and so loving, so warm. My grandfather's deceased now, but he was the one who really instilled that sense of love for music, and who was such an avid lover of jazz and insisted that I start taking piano lessons from very early. So I started classical piano when I was 12. So my mother and I are like sisters, and then my grandparents are my actual mother and father,
Yes.
So yeah, beautiful childhood. I couldn't have wanted anything.
So is your family academic in the arts, or are they just brainy, boffiny, intellects that are really intelligent?
Not in the arts, not in the arts at all, but they are. My whole family here, they're all educated. My grandfather had studied law and he dropped out due to financial reasons. My grandmother was a nurse. She's retired and she's still working.
Yes.
And all my mom's siblings then became my siblings because, she was so young and stuff. So everybody, so, they were in corporate. My aunt is, she owns a catering company. My mom, big, exec in Johannesburg and that kind of thing. So everybody's very well educated, but I'm the only one who ventured into the arts. Yeah.
The reason why I'm asking you this is, how did they feel about your choice of doing music purely and just becoming an artist, and obviously a teacher because you teach teens piano lessons?
Well, it's interesting. They were very open-minded. I think to myself, really? Where do you guys come from? Because as a young child, going through school and stuff, and your parents asking you, what do you want to be? And you say, I want to be a musician. They're like, girl,
that's a hobby.
You want to do that on the side, But it's incredible because I used to be in school plays and concerts and I stayed fits and stuff. And my grandparents would drive up to Grahamstown. I grew up in boarding school in Grahamstown, and home is peace. It's an hour's drive.
Yes.
And they used to come and watch all my shows and all the concerts. And I think they just could see that she's really good at it and she really loves it. So when I said I wanted to be a musician, I think to them it was like, no matter what we say, she's going to do it because it's what is really in her.
Yes.
So they never gave me a hard time. And I'm so grateful for that. So
Wow.
grateful, yeah.
Now, growing up, I know you said your grandmother and grandfather were like your parents,
Yeah.
but you're not from a conventional family like myself. How does that affect how you make decisions in terms of love, in terms of relationships, in terms of marriage, kids, and the whole future?
It's interesting because I think when I look at my grandparents, and I call them my parents because they are my parents. And I look at my parents and and the environment that they created at home. Because my mom and her sisters and brother, they were all studying, they were away and whatever. And they had so much respect and love for one another. I really grew up in that home that's got a mother and a father. And I watched their love and I grew up around their love. So I know for myself as an adult now, I know what to expect and I know what a healthy relationship looks like, Yes, there are tiffs and there are disagreements, but at the end of the day, there's laughter. I think about times when my father used to come back at night and, my mother's sleeping, she'd worked a whole day's shift at the hospital or whatever. But she knew that, okay, my husband's back, chances are he's hungry, I'm going to get up and I'm going to make some food,
Yes.
And that was just how it was,
Beautiful.
You never felt like there was this person who was in power and was bullying everybody.
And has someone under their thumb.
Yes, and I grew up around that, so I know what it is to be, in a healthy relationship. I know what it looks like. Look, obviously, you'll fall,
Natural.
You'll kiss a couple of frogs.
Expected.
Times are different now.
Yes.
You're like, you're coming home late, you better make yourself some food.
You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. I've been shooting.
I've been, So, look, I don't have any children and neither am I married, but I certainly know what I want for myself. I know the gold standard.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I would never settle for anything less just because I was blessed enough to grow up in a home where love was the core.
Now, you speak for both kids that were raised by their grandparents and had a young mom, but you also are the voice of a child raised by a young mother that worked.
Yeah.
I always wonder, Farah, I hope you're listening to this, I always wonder how my daughter will perceive me when she's probably in her 20s,
Yeah.
as a working mother that had to depend on her mother to raise her, which is my mother, which is her grandmother.
yeah.
As those kids, how do you then feel? What's your relationship like with your mother now with the decisions she took for herself?
We have the most incredible relationship. You know, I mean, we paint Joburg red, like every
Hey.
time we hang out together. And people are like, what are you guys like? And we're like, yeah, we're sort of mother and daughter, but actually we're like sisters and whatever. So, and you know, she's so open about the fact that she never raised me because, you know, I was literally born today. 2 days later, she had an exam and my grandparents raised me completely throughout. And she graduated and started work immediately. So she knows nothing else but to be a working woman. And it's so inspiring to me because I know that it's okay as a woman to chase your dreams and your ambitions, you know, and also her sisters as well, you know. So everybody's just got that sense of, yes, I'm a woman and I know my role in the household and that kind of thing. But firstly, I don't have to be married. You know, my mother's not married, you know. She does well for herself. Yes, you know, it's life. She's like, I'm young, whatever, you know, I can date and stuff. But she's so ambitious and she's so grounded in who she is. So we have a great relationship. I think we always laugh. She's like, Nomfundo, you can't get married before me. Okay? This is like a solidarity thing. Wait for me. And my grandmother's like, you? You'll never get married, you know? So it becomes this like kind of running
It's
joke.
like listening to an episode of the Kardashians. What is going on?
My grandmother's like, you? And my mother's like, girl, you can't get married before me, you know? So it's great, you know, but also you find your own voice, you find your own path.
Yes.
I think I'm a grown woman now. I can make my own decisions without worrying about, you know, whether my parents will support me or not. So yeah, but look, my mother is the core of everything. She's the base.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And
Yes.
then and I draw everything and all my strength from her. You know, she's chilling in PE thinking, oh, I raised such a beautiful child. Look at her.
You are
whatever.
beautiful.
You know, so I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
How do you feel about women in weaves and natural women?
Each to their own.
Yes, girl, preach.
You know, each to their own. I used to, you know, a couple of years ago, I did have that complex of like, no, but it's not your hair. And now I've grown
Do
up.
not judge
you know what I
me.
mean? Now I've like grown up and I just think to myself, you know what, actually, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that define a person other than the way their hair looks, you know. And I think it's because, and my friends wear weaves and stuff. But every time when they're not wearing weaves, I'm always like, girl, I hope you know that you are gorgeous without it as well. I hope you just know that wear your weave, girl, but I want you to know when you're not in the weave, you are as beautiful. And I think that's what's important, to say whatever's on my head doesn't really matter because I'm beautiful anyway. And this whole debate, you know, I'm just like, seriously, can you just let sisters be? You know?
Yeah, just let us
Just let us
breathe.
be. You know, when
Yeah.
I'm going to cut my dreads in a couple of days' time, you know.
Don't
and
throw them
stuff.
away. Apparently, you can keep them.
Yeah, but apparently you can sell them. And I'm just like, ain't nobody wearing my dreads.
That's
No.
my DNA.
That's my DNA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you write your music? Because when you speak, you know, you give so much comfort, even if it's about anything.
Yeah.
Like, I could sit with you the whole day and be like, ah. How do you write your music?
So I write my music. My instrument of composition is the piano because that's where I started. And it's funny because I was giving a workshop in Joburg last night in Soweto in the afternoon about songwriting. And people are like, you know, how do you write? What do you do? What's the process? And I was like, there's nothing particularly deep about the process of writing songs and music. I never write about something I haven't experienced. I never speak with authority on something I know nothing about. You know, so when you hear a song like Baya Teta, you best believe it's something that I know it, I've felt it. And I never write music under duress, never write music under duress, because I believe creativity is in charge. It controls things, not me.
But does a song wake you up in your sleep and then you're like,
it does. Ungodly hours. I'm sitting at my keyboard at 2 in the morning in pajamas. I'm like, I need to write that, you know. And I respect creativity from that perspective. I always say I pray to the gods of music because it's like when you've got something that you need to say, it's like you're carrying something on your back.
Yes.
And the only way to get it off your back is to write a song about it. And it's not always a good thing because sometimes you don't want people to know what you went through, you know, because some experiences are maybe humiliating, maybe you're not proud of them, maybe you feel embarrassed by them. But when you sing about it and you talk about it as an artist, because you are the conduit, you find that actually it heals somebody else and it brings you closer to the common to that common denominator of being human. You know, like I was singing about Ted and you're like, that's my life story in a song.
I'm like, what?
You know what I mean? And I think to myself, that's why I write music. You know, for moments like that when you meet me for the first time through a song and you go, girl, were you thinking about me when you wrote that song? And I'm like, I was thinking about everybody, you know. So that's how I write songs, and I can go for months without writing anything, and I'm okay with that as well.
You give up so much hope. Let's take a walk. Let's take a walk. And I'm gonna walk you to your chair. And I want you to show me what you're telling me, that how you write your music. She's gonna perform a great song for us now called Temba Lami. Here it is.
Uzundibeleke xa ndisiwa, undibopha amanxeba xa ndisopha, undithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Uzundibeleke xa ndisiwa, undibopha amanxeba xa ndisopha, undithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Inithemba lam, inincedo lwam, zundithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Uzundibeleke xa ndisiwa, undibopha amanxeba xa ndisopha, undithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Uzundibeleke xa ndisiwa, undibopha amanxeba xa ndisopha, undithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Inithemba lam, inincedo lwam, zundithwalise ndakusindwa, ngoba ulithemba lam. Dombe, bedo, paredo da dentro, vendo, bedo, paredo da dentro, dombe, bedo, paredo da dentro, vendo, paredo, paredo da dentro, dombe, paredo, paredo da dentro, vendo, paredo, paredo da dentro, dombe, paredo, paredo da dentro, ulithemba
And that is Temba Lam by Nomfundo. So yes, I told you it's a beautiful Sunday. See you after the break when we return.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm sitting here with the lovely Farah Fortune, and you've got such a cool name. It rolls off the tongue. It's like a Hollywood name.
People think it's a stage name. It really is my surname. Fortune is my surname. It's my family
Farah.
name.
You actually, it's not Farah. It's Farah,
My
right?
name is actually Farah Shireen. Farah Shireen Fortune.
Farah Shireen Fortune. Wow. I wish I had a name that just. I had to like mutate my name.
Oh, okay,
So that it
yes.
just,
Sorry.
But earlier we had you on, and you were telling us about how you started the beef between AK and Casper. Continue.
No. You didn't hear that bit before we went to the break, hey? How we had nothing to do with that, but yes, they were both on my books. Not at
Yeah.
the same time. AKA first. He was with us for a couple of years, and then there was a break for about almost a year,
Yeah.
and then we had Casper on our books.
Well, what I find cool is that you were there early on in both their careers before they released their debut
Yes.
albums. Both different eras. For musicians or people who trying to get into the music business or people who are just curious bystanders, what is the formula And what are the parallels you saw in both rises and in both successes that you could share with us?
Do you know, as much as people
Or you
think
learned.
that they're not the same, AKA and Casper have very similar personalities. But I think there's a basic formula in terms of, you know you need to get this client out, this is what's going to work, this is where we need to get the music to, this is where the interviews need to be sourced from. But it's the artists themselves that really make it, because you can only PR what they have. So if they have a great personality, if they've got great songs, if they have something that, great style or something that makes them different, you use that as part of what the PR is. And everybody has something about them that is relatable to someone. Everybody relates to somebody in a different way. And you just have to find out what is the relatable story to the public that is going to make them want to get to know this artist, whether they like his music or not.
Yeah.
And then work it from there.
All right. You obviously run a fantastic company. It's grown from strength to strength, and it's still growing. You're spreading out into Africa,
Yes.
And the rest of the world.
No.
Well,
I don't want to go into
you
the
don't-
rest of the
oh,
world.
surely
I'm
Africa.
only staying in Africa. Africa is it's not coming up, it's not the future, it is the now. I'd like to build my business in Africa.
Yeah.
I'd like to make this continent great. If there's anything I would PR, it's this continent.
Wow. And what's made you feel so positive and so strong about
I think
Africa?
we're amazing people. We have amazing cultures. There's so much about this continent that is so rich, and I feel there's so much we, as South Africans and the rest of the world, don't even know about what's on this continent. I mean, I've made a promise to myself that this year I would only travel in Africa. I would only go on holiday in Africa, and I've done that.
Yeah.
And I've seen things I've never seen anywhere else in the world. And I think we need to do that. We need to be putting our money back onto this continent.
Yeah.
We don't realize how amazing it is out there. So I'm not going into the rest of the world. I want to build Africa.
Holla. What's your favorite destination in Africa so far?
So far, I absolutely love Kenya. Kenya is amazing. Went to Zanzibar as well. That was, wow. It's really hot though.
Yeah,
The heat is another level of heat, but it was beautiful. I've just been to Mauritius as well.
Okay.
So that was really, really beautiful.
I've done East Africa quite a bit as well. Mombasa, Kenya, Zanzibar as well.
It's
I haven't
nice.
done West Africa.
I've been to Nigeria, and I love Nigeria's party lifestyle. Their nightclubs are amazing.
That's what I hear. The whole continent's like that.
It is so amazing. You will never party like you can party in Nigeria.
I hear Congo's the same thing. The rest of
I've
Africa,
never
people
been yet.
party 7 days a week,
Yeah, no,
all night long,
It's great. I
till the
want to go
sun
to
rises.
Ivory Coast. I hear it's the same in Ivory Coast, so I want to go there too.
Right.
But I do plan on seeing a lot more of the continent this year, yes.
Okay. You recently gave a TED Talk in PE, right?
Yes.
Yeah? How did you get involved in that? And how do you end up giving a TED Talk? Like, how does that work?
They actually approached me and asked me
Who's
if
they?
the people who organized the TEDx
Right.
talk. I was very honored. I was the first confirmed speaker, so that was a really big thing for me.
Is it not nerve-wracking? Because TED Talks are so insightful.
Do you know
People
what?
have these amazing...
I do these talks all the time, and when I did TED Talk, I have never been more nervous in my life. I sat there for weeks on end, literally trying
Working
to write
and rehearsing,
something
yeah.
and rehearsing and on the plane and buying books on how to give talks when I've done this a million times because I was so nervous. I mean, it's TED Talks. You know what an
course.
honor it is to be asked to talk at something like that.
Do they give you a time limit, like you have to do it within 11 minutes?
You can't talk longer than 18 minutes. You can talk 5 minutes, you can talk 10 minutes, you
Yeah.
can talk 17 minutes, but you cannot talk
How
longer
long was
than
your
18.
talk?
I think mine was about 10 minutes.
And what was the subject?
Mine was the reality of entertainment, but my context was very much about the reality of what it's like to be in this entertainment business and what you need to do in order to get yourself in and also how to maintain it.
Oh, okay.
Because I think, I mean, I'm sure you've seen it as well in the entertainment industry. There's a lot of people who come into this industry. There's not a lot of people who stay in this industry. So that's the big difference, yeah.
Got you. Wow. Well, congratulations on getting that
Thank
honor. You also won an award in Mumbai.
I did.
I think I've only ever won like 2 awards in my whole life. I don't win anything. I don't get on any lists. So how do you end up in India getting an award?
I don't know. I got this email from the Women's World Congress. And
The Women's World Congress. You
Congress.
get an email
Yes.
from TED and you get one from the Women's World Congress. Okay, and then?
they told me I had won this award for women in leadership. and you actually have to nominate somebody for this award, and you pay $300 to nominate someone. And to this day, I still don't know who nominated me.
So someone paid, let's do this in rand. Someone paid 5,000 rands just for the honor to nominate you for an award, which you eventually won.
I wish I knew it was, because I really would genuinely like to say thank you to them. So if it is you and you're watching, thank you very much. I appreciate the beautiful award that's sitting on my shelf at home. But I mean, they don't tell you who nominates you.
Yeah.
But you know what was really nice about it though? I went to Mumbai, never been to India before in my life. I absolutely loved it. But what I really felt honored by was the fact that there were all these women in this room from different countries, and I was the only South African, and the only South African that won. And just, they put your flag up if you win, and the South African flag was flying because of me, and I felt that was such an honor to represent my country in such a way. So I'm very excited, and I also just got, next year I'll be going, the CSR Sustainability Congress. I've just been listed as the top 50 social innovators in the world, so that was really cool as well.
Top 50.
I know, I was such a rubbish child as well. Like, I'm surprised I turned out this way in my life.
Doesn't that put you in the same league as like Mark Zuckerberg and stuff?
Oh wow, I wish I was making his kind of money.
Oh yeah. What is he worth, like 60 billion US now?
I'm sure even more than that. But I mean, it's do you know what, for me, more than anything, it's great to have all these titles, but for me, it's just to show my daughter that, you know, you can do anything in the world. She's 11 years old. When she grows up, I want to say, you know, you can do anything in the world. You can do whatever you want. You know, look where mommy comes from, and look what I've got. So for me, it's more a case of, I just want to show her that anything is possible.
Your daughter's a only child, right?
Yes, she is. Well, from me. Her dad has a son as well.
Oh, okay. All right. So she's got a brother. But you come from a big family, right?
I
family
do.
Of 6. Did all of you travel together to like Belgium and
yes,
UK?
I mean, there's 6 of us, 3 boys, 3 girls. I'm the middle child, but baby girl. Okay. So I forget that I'm the middle child. I expect to be treated like the baby girl when I go home, and I'm spoiled, and I make sure I'm spoiled by my mom, and my brothers and sisters hate me.
Maybe it's your siblings that club together to nominate you for this.
You never know. You never know. I mean, I'm grateful if they did. But they don't treat me any different. I still have to go home and wash dishes and do all those things, you know, and I'm still treated like the baby, so it makes no difference in my household.
When I started doing TV, I noticed all of a sudden my mom stopped asking me to do the dishes at home.
Really? No, my mom doesn't know.
Weird,
My mom's still about packing the dishwasher, but when I go home, I'm not going to lie. I genuinely try and make my mom make me feel like I'm the baby girl. So I demand breakfast in bed. I know I'm old and everything, but I demand breakfast in bed, and my brothers and sisters can't handle that. But I mean, it's not my fault they moved out.
I told you got to get a chef. We were talking about that earlier.
Yes, I know.
But listen, we're going to talk some more. You're going to hang out for the rest of the show. We're going to eat as well. We're going to experience some more music. Although Newtown in central Johannesburg has undergone a welcome renewal, there's no doubt that the grand dame of the precinct is the legendary Market Theatre. Take a look at this.
The Market Theatre story began in the midst of the apartheid era and became renowned as the country's theatre of the struggle when it opened as a non-racial stage for South Africa's stories.
Oh, the Market Theatre is a magical place. I mean, I remember when it opened in '76, we were in Cape Town at the Space Theatre, and here was this theatre that was also just defying the odds against the government, just doing work that was exciting, that was a reflection of society and not into these comfortable, safe boxes that the South African government wanted theatre to be. And it was a place where you could come and do exciting work, and you could be a reflection of the society and have a political voice and a social voice and a funny voice and entertain while conscientizing, you know, and that's why the Market Theatre is a magical place. And they've survived all the years.
The iconic theatre is celebrating 40 years of storytelling through music, dance and art. It has remained a popular entertainment destination and launched the careers of many performers.
40 years of amazing storytelling. I believe lots of stories have been told over the years, and not only in South Africa, but the Market Theatre has had an opportunity to tell stories about home in the United States, in Europe, in many parts of the world.
The story of anti-apartheid activist Dulcie September and her mysterious murder in Paris is being told through the one-woman show Cold Case, performed by veteran actress Denise Newman.
Dulcie September. I remember the story about her from 1988 when we first heard of her assassination. And it's always, you know, it's been an intriguing story because it was so dramatic to be shot 5 times in the back while you're opening the ANC office in a suburb of Paris. And you just think, why Dulcie? You know, why was she assassinated? How dangerous was she? This woman who was a teacher from Athlone, who grew up and just wanted to change society and make it a better place for everybody. She fought fiercely for women's rights, for human rights, and you know, had a great impact on the movement of the ANC when they were in exile. And I thought, this is such a wonderfully dramatic story that we need to tell to a younger generation, because that's part of our history. These are the people who contributed to the democracy that we take so for granted. Section 21A of Act 76/62. 5 years. Locked in cells so small I sometimes struggle to breathe.
We've had amazing shows that reflect society on itself, you know. Shows about the effects of apartheid on the people of South Africa. Not only just black people, but also how it affected white people. We've had shows about child abuse, like Tsepiso, about raping of children. We've had shows that have challenged the status quo in the democratic South Africa. The Market Theatre has also been producing work in African languages, which had never really happened in a major theatre like the Market Theatre. And so we're finding different audiences coming through.
As a cultural institution, the Market Theatre was and still is a haven for performers to explore South Africa's pains, celebrate its joys, and bring people together to hear and feel great stories.
All right, well, there you have it. Now, we have to take a short break. Don't forget to keep tweeting and Instagramming and Facebooking us. On Facebook, we are The Weekend Edition. On Instagram and Twitter, it's The Weekend on 3. Looking forward to hearing from you. We'll be right back after this.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend.
All right, guys, welcome back to The Weekend Edition. We're busy in the kitchen. The whole squad is here. Devin's gonna take us through an amazing dish, right?
Yeah, this is a pasta dish, a bacon dish. We call it the Bacon 00. It's smack, so I'm going to show you how to do it.
Why have you picked this dish?
Because it's one of our best sellers, best pasta dish.
Yeah, like a bestseller.
It's simple. It's very simple,
yeah.
But it's good. You know, like smokiness of the bacon. You got the mushrooms. It's all
and
happening.
that's still drying, right? It's still fine.
That's still drying. That's still good. It can dry more, or we're gonna cook it now, so it's semi-dry.
Let's cook it, man. Let's get busy.
So let's get on it.
All right.
We're gonna need some butter.
Okay.
Butter.
Do we have butter?
I told you, Joe, to go to the store.
Babe,
This is why I
didn't
can't
you go
live
to the
with you.
store? Huh?
No, but I told you to go to the store.
Wait,
it was
just
your
check in the
turn.
cupboard back there.
I took out the
Is there butter?
garbage.
There's no butter here?
I took out the garbage this
There was
week.
butter here just a minute ago.
I told you to go to the store.
All right.
Let's get started. We'll use some oil.
All right, okay.
The butter's
some-
next to you, actually.
All
There
right,
it
cool.
is.
There we
See,
go.
I knew I chopped up some butter earlier, yeah.
Okay.
Butter and
Here we
oil.
go. Okay, so we're putting it in there?
Yeah, popping it in here.
Okay, cool.
How
Get
hot
that.
must the plate be?
So you want it on a medium to high heat.
That's a
Okay.
super high heat, right?
Yeah, that's high heat. We're just getting the pan hot for now.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, then in with the bacon and in with some onions. So I would say like 100 grams of bacon per...
Is that chopped bacon? Is that from a bacon steak? What is that?
Yeah, this is chopped bacon. So you want to get like diced bacon?
Yeah.
Can I take this away for now?
Yes.
So that
There.
everyone could see, right?
There we are.
Khanyi, that's not weave, by the way, hey?
And in with some onions, about half an onion, chopped
right.
up.
Cool.
Cool. And we're just going to let that cook
All right.
away.
You do your thing. You want me to do it?
Yeah, there
It's
we go.
popping, man, you know. You gotta break this bacon up.
Yeah. Break it up. Get it
Okay, you
cooking.
okay, cool.
So we don't want to overcrowd. I wouldn't crowd the pan more than this. You want instead of the meat to sweat.
Yeah, right.
You rather
right.
want it to cook and get color. If you overcrowd it, it's going to
Right,
be...
so you want to brown it and, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So get some nice
No
color
garlic
going.
in here, no?
No garlic.
I'm a
simple.
garlic freak. Okay.
Garlic freak.
Yeah. All right,
Good.
cool. All right, then what do we do? We
So
still wait for it to
we're going to
crisp
give this,
out?
1 more minute. We're going to cook it out, and then we're going to chuck the mushrooms in.
Now,
slowly
why do
cook
you
it
think
down.
why do you think this dish is a bestseller? Was it a surprising success, or did you know that people were going to gravitate to this dish?
I don't think it's surprising. I think it's bacon. Like, who doesn't like bacon? Bacon's a good one, bacon mushroom, but I don't know why. We've got a couple other ones on the menu. A lamb dish really sells well.
Okay.
But I think bacon mushroom, it's kind of got that Alfredo classic in it.
Right. And you would make this fresh every day, or do you kind of batch make it and then as people order it?
No, this is made to order. So if you order a pasta, your pasta will be made to order.
So what I'm doing now, that's what you guys do. Got a little mushroom on the stove. Okay, cool, there we go. This is what you guys do in the restaurant.
In the restaurant. So order comes in, bacon pasta, and there we go. The guy in the back's frying bacon, got onions, everything's chopped up already, like we're doing. And he's doing this to order.
All right, cool. All right, now what now? We just let this sweat out, or?
Yeah, we're gonna let that cook a bit.
Yeah.
We can go in with some salt and pepper.
I like the way your dishes are so simple. You can.
It is. It's one of the things I like about food. It's not don't overcomplicate.
I mean, the hardest part is
It's
just preparing everything, right?
Yeah, your pre-work.
Yeah.
The mise en place is what we call it in the kitchen.
Ladies, you guys are surprisingly quiet.
And we're like,
No, we're watching the men cook.
the men cook, so it's like,
Yeah,
it's lovely.
it's nice.
When was the last
bless
time you had a
women's
man
minds.
cook for you?
We don't remember.
He doesn't have a woman, by the way.
You
Like
said you needed someone to cook at home for you. So,
I know.
What's the dish called?
we call it the bacon 00. 00 being the flour that you use when you're making a pasta. So you use, we didn't explain that earlier.
Yeah.
It's a finer ground of flour. It's called 00 flour. And it makes for more gluten in. So when you eat pasta, you get the chewiness in your pasta. That's coming from the really fine grind, which is more gluten in your pasta.
Okay, I didn't know that.
all right, we good?
So now we're going to drop the pasta in to our pot.
Into the boiling water, right?
Into boiling water, yes. Boiling water, a little bit of salt in this pot.
Put my hand on there. All right, the water.
There we go.
And you said that's like a minute because it's still fresh.
Well, this will go for about 2 minutes, yeah.
All right. It's what you call flash boiling.
Flash boiling, yeah.
All right. I don't know if that's what it's called. I just threw that out.
No,
You cover it. Do you?
blanching. Yeah, you can
Yeah, you
pop the
cover
lid back on. That will keep the heat going.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I was talking to Devin earlier, and he was telling me that for the last 3-4 years, he hasn't had a girlfriend because he's been so focused on his career.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking, hashtag find him.
I mean, you own your own restaurant. You're 23 years old.
Joe is like selling him to
pumping,
the
man.
masses. What
There
girl
you
is
go.
like,
And he can't find a woman. He can't find a woman.
I'm good on paper.
Yeah.
It's getting there. I think I'm too focused on my career at the moment,
DM
and
space of
it's what I want to do. It's what I love doing.
It's going down in the DM.
So yeah.
So when do you think you'll be able to dedicate some of your time to a loved one, a
looking for love.
relationship? Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not looking. If it comes along.
I
it's
know
gonna
you think
happen.
I'm putting him on blast, but
you're like-
it
you're
is a
like-
fantastic story of dedication. Like, he's so focused on his career right now.
His DMs crash.
I am.
Because they're
I
gonna
am.
It's so going down in those
Goodness.
DMs.
I see you.
Ladies,
I
you're
see
missing
y'all,
out. You better
ladies. I
jump the
see
queue.
y'all.
What? Do you have a Twitter handle?
Oh my gosh.
At BFG Hogan. You can catch me on Twitter.
All right, there you go.
So we've got some cream in here, and we're just reducing the cream down. That's going to make the sauce for our pasta.
Okay.
And then we're going to make it a bit more fragrant by adding some fresh cut parsley in. Are you good with a knife? Do you want to cut the
No,
parsley?
yeah, Farah, I think you're good with a knife. Yeah, she can
There we
cut.
go.
Farah, you want to
I'm
come around
cutting
and-
coriander.
Are
Okay.
you gonna come around?
How do you want it chopped?
Don't cut yourself.
So yeah, just rough chop. Just go with it. There we go. Got some nice skills.
She's gonna cut you. Be careful.
Do you have a
I
day
can
off?
cook,
You can
guys.
Come join us in the kitchen.
I didn't say I can't cook. I just said I didn't like cooking.
Okay.
Big difference.
You know how to do that.
Look at that. Look at
I
that.
can
There
cook.
you go.
Girl.
Let me grab the
What do you cook?
I cook lots of things. I have a child to feed, hey?
what's going on here. And,
All right.
There you go.
Very
Wow,
nice.
that pasta's looking amazing. Unbelievable.
Cool.
All All right, so how long does this need to reduce down to? What consistency are we looking for? Because
We're looking for
I'm worried. It
kind
looks
of-
like it's...
Yeah, so we're looking close to this. We can switch this off now.
Yeah, okay. So let me switch off the right.
That was quick.
Here we go. Okay, I've
If you
switched
land
it
up
off.
Simple.
over reducing the sauce, you can use some of the water from your pasta
Right.
to bring it back alive.
Right,
If you want
okay.
it more saucy, some people don't like a lot of sauce in their pasta, so it's all to preference.
This is going to be crazy.
Really.
I can
So
tell.
yeah, nice and simple. They were saying so quick, dinner doesn't have to be hard. You know?
It's the prep. That's a lot of work.
It's the prep. But this was easy. Mushrooms and...
That's what I like, the simplicity of the dish. Wow.
Yeah.
So, another
Do you
minute?
think 15 more seconds?
Yeah.
Timing's everything. We have to. Those 15
Like, my
seconds are
mouth is
important.
salivating
All right, so
already.
let us know how you like your pasta and can you make this for yourself. Hashtag The Weekend Edition on Facebook. It's The Weekend Edition. Twitter and Instagram, The Weekend on 3. See you after the break. I just love that song in the morning. Doesn't just give you a feeling. Welcome back to part 2 of my interview with Nomfundo. You know, as artists, we tend to forget our humble beginnings, the hunger, and we get comfortable in what we're doing. And it's always now the chase, the chase. But you have a constant reminder of that because you work with young people that still have dreams and hopes of getting into the industry and becoming a great singer one day. How is that working with young souls that are so ambitious?
It's great. You're right, because people sometimes just look at you and they see you on television or they see you collecting an award for something. And we're living in a time where people want instant success and instant fame, you know, and that kind of thing. So being young myself, when I interact with other young people or people who are much younger than myself wanting to break into the industry, I always say, you've got to pay your dues. Can people go back to the culture of paying dues? You know, because I just think about, you know, growing up in, you know, schooling in Cape Town at music school, at UCT and stuff, and performing to people who just weren't even listening to you. You know, they were just busy drinking, eating, but putting your heart out on stage where people weren't paying attention. Or singing for like 3 hours at a corporate function and maybe earning 100 Rand or 200 Rand, you know what I mean? Not having a car, having to go and do a gig at the convention center on New Year's Eve and it's raining and you're going from taxi to taxi and you got heels and, you know, whatever. And but it's all part of the lesson and the experience of becoming something great. So I'm not saying that everybody's got to go through that, but you've got to kind of start from the bottom up. And that's the one thing I keep telling people and young people, that you've got to be humble enough to start from the bottom. This thing where everybody's completely obsessed with the fact that I'm talented, so I should be great. You know? It's like, you know, average is the new genius. It's like average is the new genius.
So,
it's like,
so
you know,
boring.
so I always just kind of go, you know what, you got to be disciplined, you got to start from the bottom up, and just have absolutely no entitlement. The world owes you nothing, no matter how talented you are.
Now, I know South Africa is at a point where we feel like, or people believe that we need to empower the less fortunate. We need to give opportunity. There are a lot of reality shows that are allowing people to win careers, if you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
Is that fair on the industry to give people such a doorway to winning their careers?
Ooh, you're going to get me in trouble with that
let's
question.
call a spade
Let's call a spade a spade.
It's happening,
Look the
ain't it?
monster in the eye. I don't think it's fair. And I'll tell you why, because I think that people get sold dreams, you know, and one has to be able to discern between what is real and what is entertainment, because I find that a lot of the reality shows and you know, that sell or give people an opportunity to get a career over a couple of weeks, it's not. You've got to be so clever. I'm not saying don't do it, but you must understand what it really is at the core. Is that that's a TV show, and it runs from season to season. And yes, it's a great platform for you to put yourself out there, but you still got to do the grind afterwards. And sometimes I find that, and I've interacted with people who've been on those shows before, and the hangover that you feel after it, because you're on such a high. You're on TV, people are, you know, you've got all these followers on Twitter, and you know, oh, she's so great, whatever, and then within no time, like we can't see, we forget who are you because it's not on TV anymore.
We're not hating.
I mean, Devin is on he's trying to get a career on TV as well.
But he's not winning it.
He's
We're
on
not
Top
running a
Chef,
company
huh?
here. We're not giving out tickets.
You guys are.
We're not giving, no. But
You guys are so hating. Oh my God, on a Sunday.
did you win your career?
No, he hasn't won it yet, but he's on his way, right? After today, we're gonna be
So
rooting for
who's
him.
making you promises? Who's promising you a career?
But no one, like, it's interesting hearing you guys chat about that because, like,
Give it to
I've
him.
already got a career established and this is only just starting. So, if, you know, after that's finished,
But you're
there's
here
no hangover for
marketing,
me.
you're pushing it. You didn't just
Did you hear what he said? There's no hangover for me,
For him.
Nomfundo.
get away.
Take that to the bank.
Boys hate on girls.
Don't hate, don't hate. We're just trying to keep it real.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
we're just trying to keep it real.
Yes.
So yeah, you know, that's my feeling about it. But like I said earlier, you know, each to their own, and I think it's important for us to share our journeys. And I love any show that you know is pro mentorship. I love that, you know, because I think you need to equip everybody with the skill to then hustle and grind afterwards. Because yeah, like you know, it's like you get sold a career, or one moment you like. Someone was saying earlier, you know, Farah was saying earlier, you know, artists get into the industry, but it's so hard to stay. So you need to equip ourselves with the tools to stay. And sometimes I feel like maybe some of the shows don't really equip us with the tools to stay and to hustle. So yeah, but look, we could talk about it forever. Everybody's got such a different opinion about it, you know. But I think, yeah, just be good at what you do, you know, and just be respectful and work hard. Work hard for everything that you have. Work hard for what you want.
Yes.
I think that's at the core of it. Work hard.
5 words I'm going to give you, and when I say them, give me your quickest understanding of what the word means to you. Freedom. Don't think
Responsibility.
about it. Beauty.
Inner.
Natural.
Beauty.
Fake.
Says who?
Future.
Bright.
Right.
Bright.
Well, I'd like to ask you to give me a bright performance once again. Show me how bright the future is with your next song called Waiting. Let's do it.
Thanks. Let's do it. Oh. This song actually speaks about exactly what we were talking about now. Although Joe said we were hating, so listen to this song because it speaks completely about that. I am waiting, waiting for tomorrow. I am praying, asking God to guide me. Your day will come.
find her music, it is on iTunes. This is the weekend edition. Happy Sunday. Stay with us as we see what's happening in the kitchen. See you now.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend.
Welcome back to the weekend edition. I'm sitting here with 4 lovely ladies, and it is Women's Day in what, a day or 2?
Week.
A week,
month,
a week.
It's our year.
Oh, the
It's a
whole
whole
month.
month. And in 2 days it'll be Women's Day.
Every day. though.
Exactly.
All right. So we obviously brought you guys on because you're all successful women in your own right. You run your own businesses. You're doing some amazing things in different areas. I'm gonna fall back. Khanyi, you run this.
You know, I always watch shows on TV and I read newspapers, and there's always someone saying something about women. But I'd like to give each of our guests just 30 seconds for you to rant. It's a TV where it's a family show,
rant
but
about
to
what?
rant anything that you've always wanted to say and put it out there. 30 seconds.
So it's like a why are you mad?
As I'm
Yeah.
starting on that side of the table, I need to think about that.
Oh, really? Why are men always judging women who want to date men with money? If they want to date men with money, do it.
Are you dating someone with money? Or
We'll get back to that.
I don't have to worry about that. I have money now. It's okay. I can date who I want. My point is, don't judge another woman for it.
Okay.
But where is that coming from?
We'll get to that. Lisa?
And it's going to sound funny come from someone who's doing a woman's show.
Yes.
But I'm tired of the woman stuff, you know?
Yes.
It's needed, it was needed, but I want to do the people stuff.
Yes.
I want to do it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a feeling that you want to do the woman stuff because you need it, but I want to get beyond it. I just want to get beyond it.
No?
It's not quite a rant, but it's a feeling.
I feel it though. I feel it. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, for me, I would say, you know, just because like you're hot and you're very hot, it doesn't make me less hot, and it doesn't make you less hot, and it doesn't make you less hot. You know what I mean? Like the beauty of someone else doesn't take away from acknowledging the beauty of another woman doesn't diminish the beauty of self.
So you're saying your man can acknowledge the beauty of other women and you are okay with that because it doesn't...
Watch it.
It
Tact.
depends.
Tact.
Looking and staring.
No, but she just said...
Yeah.
I'm speaking to women.
Oh, okay.
He's acknowledging.
Men must watch it.
So, Farah, I mean, you've raised that point. Reason why I wanted to know that is that we've always got that one thing that we'd like to talk about, but because you're in someone else's space, you never say it. Women that want men that have money. It's always been an issue.
Speak about it, Khanyi.
Watch me get into it,
Right.
you know?
Girl.
I love her tweets, and people know that follow Farah. Every Sunday, you wake up to one of her tweets that are like, it's time to wake up. If you're sleeping at his house, it's time to go home. Get up, get your clothes, and go. It's done. It's that night. She's like that.
I love
Don't touch the curtains. Don't look at. Just go. Leave. It's done. That's what it is. And she would say, don't expect him to call you. If that was the fun, leave it. Leave it. Don't call him too many times. What's up, girl?
No, because I feel like as women, people think they need to put us into a box.
Yes.
And we need to act a certain way or do certain things. Like, I shouldn't have to cook for you. I'm not married to you. I'm not your mother. If you want to cook, go home, go cook. Like, you shouldn't have to expect it from me. Shouldn't also have to expect me to take care of you. But if I want to be with you because you have money, that's my prerogative. It's my choice. If you're stupid enough to stick around, that's your choice.
You're angry.
You invited the red.
You know what I hate? I absolutely hate women who judge
Guys, I'm
other
here
women
with
for
you,
wanting
hey?
to do that. If you want to be in that position, like I genuinely believe that, you know, when you die, you have to go in front of God, and that's what your judgment day.
Yes.
You're not going to sit here and judge me for the decisions I make in life. You're not God. You're not there to judge me. When God is judging me, you're not going to stand next to me saying, yes, and she did this, and she... No,
No.
it doesn't work that way. I hate the fact that other women judge other women for the fact that they want men with money. If you want to, there are women out there, I want to work for my money. I'm very proud of the fact that I do that. If I want to date someone with money, it's my prerogative. If I want to take care of myself, if I want to take care of him, it's my prerogative. But I just hate the fact that women are always judged for the fact that they date people with money. If that's what they want to do, it's not your business. Like, that's my gripe. And it comes not just from that thing of men with money, it's just the fact that we judge each other consistently. We judge, you walk into a room, you see a woman who's more beautiful than you, and you're like, oh my, she must be this, or she must be that. Or you see a woman who's with a man who's not good looking, and you think, oh, he must be rich. That's the only reason she's there. And we do it consistently. It's like, aren't we tired?
Yeah.
Like, aren't we tired of doing that?
But that means you're supporting what Lisa's saying is she's also tired of everything woman. I'm also sick of that. Like, Women's Day is great, it's a holiday, wow, it's our day, it's amazing. But honestly, women do great things every single day. It's not only on the 9th where women start doing things that are like, wow.
But it's that thing where you say, like, the one thing I hate, especially in the, work predominantly in the hip-hop industry, and the one thing I hate is people being called female rappers. Because we don't call them male rappers, we just call them rappers. So why do we have to call women who rap female rappers? I don't, it's that whole thing. We're never just that thing. We're always a female DJ, female rapper, female, we're never just people. So I totally get what you're saying.
I better
This is
bite my
deep.
tongue.
My
mind is just going like, but I'm gonna keep quiet.
You just need to be the earpiece.
I want to ask you something. Don't you, as much as you say you don't like men putting women in a box, don't you find that men put men in a box as well? Like we have
Probably,
you know,
completely, I'm
Men
sure.
gossip far more than women
They do.
Of course we gossip. I don't know.
judge
I
us
just
for it?
I feel like the spotlight on feminism and women has kind of created this rift and it's created problems where, in my mind, there has never been problems before. But maybe that's
I'm with
just
you.
me being a male chauvinist. I don't know.
Depends how far you go with, like, I don't particularly think I'm a feminist. I wouldn't class myself that. I love men to hold doors for me. I love men, you know, I love my men to pull out the chair for me when I sit down. I'm not a feminist. I think there are certain things that I just feel need to not be so societal. It's a society thing. It's come from the different ages or generations. Like, we look at our grandmothers who, you know, got married, stayed at home, they didn't work because our grandfathers took care of them, whereas our mums worked. It was different generation, it was different types of rules. But for us, it just seems that there's certain things as the generations go down that just don't change. Like, women are expected to cook. Like, I'm Muslim, I come from my culture, women are expected to cook, stay at home, have babies. I'm not the conventional Muslim woman, and I'm judged for that.
Why is that looked down upon?
What is what?
Like, I understand that it's been characterized as a very chauvinistic way of looking at things, but I feel like half the time we behave in the most natural way. Like, we are made the way we are. We behave in a natural way. And there's some things that we can do, but we would have to fight our own nature to kind of...
Yeah, but Joe, nature's learned.
Yeah, everything's learned.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, nature is learned.
A bird learns how to fly.
I don't know. I
Roles
sort of
are
agree.
learned.
I sort of agree with
Roles are
Joe.
learned.
I mean, I'm kind of. I don't want to say I'm fence.
We
I'm
cannot
fence-sitting,
nurture. We're not
but I
naturally
think,
not nurturers as men. And you can say a man can learn to be a nurturer, but it's
They're two
You
things.
can, because there's house husbands, there's kids, there's guys that actually stay at home. They look after the kids. They
I'm a
take
single
them to
father.
school. You know, but that's what I'm saying. It's a
I'll
learned.
tell you right
Nobody
now,
taught you how to be that. You learned how to be
I think I'm a great single dad, but I'm going to tell you right now, the one thing that my son needs, which I can't provide, is that nurturing aspect that he would get from his mom or any woman for that matter. I just don't have it.
But there are
Even
two things.
on my best day, I don't have it.
Yeah, sure. There are two things. There's this is what I think, and reserve the right to change my mind every 30 seconds. That's my rule. Is that there is learnt behaviour, and then there's also instinct. So it's both. So we've been talking about a mix of the two. Right? So, of course, that instinctual feminine we do, you know, it's there.
Yeah.
But then there's also learned stuff. So I've got siblings who live overseas. My brother, the most amazing thing, I went to visit him. He was in his early 20s, I think, or mid-20s, married. And the first time ever I saw a man get up and he took off the table. And because why? He was South African, born and bred. If he'd been here, he probably wouldn't have done that. And he was in the States. Where are you from? That's just what, in his milieu, what happened there. So that was learned. So it's a mixture, and I think we need to do those things. I mean, I like it when people don't all stand up and share. I do still have a problem with it, you know?
Cooking for your man is something to look down on. But I just also feel that it's not something you should expect from me all the time. If I feel like I don't want it today, maybe you should cook, or let's get a takeout.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Like with me, and I think a lot of guys, I love cooking. I can cook. I don't need a woman to cook. But when a woman cooks for me, there's just something that happens in our love bond that just triggers something in me as a man. And women don't realize that. And that's why that adage that, you know, the way to a man's heart is through his stomach, it's not really about the food. It's about the fact that you took time to make this amazing meal. And this is going into my body. And it's like, for me, it is the single most act of love. And that's what it
The
is.
same thing of men.
Yeah,
Do you
you feel
know
it as a
how
man, and we
sexy
would
it
feel
is?
it as a woman.
Exactly, for a man
Absolutely.
to be in a kitchen
just feel
and take his time out to do something he doesn't normally do. For me, that's also sexy.
It's also very sexy, but I think, I want to just butt in here now as a Xhosa girl.
Go ahead, girl. Give it to us.
Xhosa girl. I'm
Give
like,
it to us.
I get
yeah.
all
Take us
tribal
to
on you,
PE. Let's go
everybody,
Eastern Cape.
as
How
a
was it done?
Xhosa. And I want to put it on the table that, for growing up in a Xhosa, as a Xhosa woman, Mam Gwashu, my clan name, having been around those ceremonies and weddings and listening to how, the older woman would give advice to the young bride and that kind of thing. You know what? I'm telling you now, it's incredible because even modern day women, and I use that term loosely, modern day women who are married, when they give advice to another young bride, they say the exact same things. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. You see, I know when I get married, especially when getting married to a Xhosa man, there are expectations there that I cannot run. But I'm walking into it knowing that this is my culture, this is what is expected of me, like we were chatting on the couch. I grew up with my grandparents, and I was saying to Khanyi earlier, my grandmother would wake up. If my dad came back, at night, whatever, from wherever he was from. Look, I don't think it was like shady stuff. Maybe he was on a work trip or whatever. He came back. My mother was sleeping because she worked a long shift at the hospital. She used to get up. If my siblings were at boarding school or at varsity, she would get up and cook for him. Not to say he doesn't have hands to cook for himself, but she feels that that's her responsibility as, his wife, as to cook for him. And it was great because when I watched it, she wasn't doing it because she's like dragging her feet. That's my husband. He's just come up, I gotta cook. And it is expected, but you need to be with a man who also understands sometimes that, my wife she's sleeping, she's tired. He's not going to be angry because you didn't cook. I think it's a two-way thing. Like, I will cook for my husband because I know it is what is expected of me as his wife. But he also knows me well enough that I'm tired. I'm gonna say, babe, I'm tired tonight. Can you make some food? And it must be okay. This thing of like, no, you must, or whatever. I think that's where the issue comes in, and I think that's where the entitlement. But also, like I said, speaking from a Xhosa perspective, I know that if I marry a Xhosa man, that's the dealio. I'm not going to be like, well, he must cook because actually, why doesn't he? No,
don't get me. I've been married.
Yeah,
I've been married.
Married?
I've been married. I'm divorced to my daughter's father. But there was never a time when that man ever cooked in that house. I cooked. I come from a family where my mom and dad have been married for 44 years. I'm 37. As long as I can remember, there is never a day that has passed that my father has never gotten breakfast in bed, ever. Ooh. He gets breakfast in bed every morning. Every morning. My father is a lucky man.
Shout out to Daddy Fortune.
I know, he has the best life. He really does.
Breakfast in bed. You can't even eat in bed.
My mom, every morning, my mom takes my dad breakfast in bed. There is not a day I remember when I was a kid or now that my dad hasn't gotten that.
That's really cool. We want options, don't we? It's all these bits and pieces. You want to be able to feel, if you marry a Xhosa guy, whatever, you want to feel that. But you want variation and options. So everyone needs to, I think, and I sound like the Buddhist here, but variation on a theme.
But all I say is everything evolves,
It will, but we don't want it to evolve to a point where everyone's awkward. And if I was a man, I'd be awkward.
We got to go to ad break, but I want to ask you a real quick question, all right? How many of you did not judge Khanyi when she was riding around in his or her Lamborghinis dating a rich man?
How many of us did not?
You didn't judge her?
Her, so I
Oh, you were trying to keep it close, right?
How many of us did not judge her?
Yeah. I was judging her hard. I was like, no, this girl's on the wrong path.
And you said it's bad. On national TV, girl, I judged you so hard. I was like, what? Where does she work? What? Yeah.
She does.
And now, and actually, okay.
So that goes to what she was saying.
Yeah, but I was so much younger than, but now I was actually.
No, I was judging her.
To let you in, I was WhatsApping my friend this morning. I was like, damn, Khanyi looks so good. And like, I remember watching the movie and stuff, just going like, yeah, you know what? You gotta respect. Because I think also this, you were saying everybody evolves and we all get older and you understand that, you know what, Khanyi, look, it's like, look at where you are. And you were saying earlier, you're so grateful to be here, you're so grateful to do what you do. And I just like, we all have a story, something that other people will judge. Baya teta go and they were speaking, but look at your fine self right now. That's what's up.
But I promise you, Lisa tonight is gonna probably call because she's thinking to herself, what are they saying?
What are they talking about? 2 Lamborghinis.
What is this girl? She's gonna be like, Khanyi,
in a way. But it's not my thing. It's just not my thing. You know, people are people. It's just not my thing. Whoever, whatever, cars, what, you know, really.
She didn't take me for a ride in that car, though.
Of course you didn't. There wasn't enough space.
Oh, you
All
were
right, guys.
building an empire. Yeah, no time.
We got to go to ad break, guys. Keep the conversation going on social media. It's the Weekend Edition on Facebook and, of course, the Weekend on 3 on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be right back. We got to cook up one more dish.
It's a weekend. It's a weekend.
Now, you know by now, we always give you 3 courses right here on the Weekend Edition. We've got my man, Devin Hogan. Yeah. Any relation to the Hulk Hogan?
No,
Are you
no,
from
no.
a long line of Hogans?
I get this question a lot. No,
Do you?
no wrestling in my family.
Right,
No, no, no.
you do have the orange, red hair.
No, but you do.
Yeah, you got a little Hogan-esque. Yeah? All right. Before she falls down,
Okay.
we're whipping up our 3rd course, right?
Yeah.
We did the pasta earlier, just to let people know. We mix it in the pan, and then you grated some cheese on top of that, right?
Yeah, some Parmesan on the top, pasta into the pan, drain the water. Now we're going to be making a baked vanilla cheesecake with a chocolate and orange sauce to go over the top, or ganache.
All right,
as
love
it's called.
everything except that I'm lactose intolerant. Can you use like a lactose-free cheese? Is there such a thing?
Not really for cream cheese. It's cheese. It's
because me and Khanyi have a problem.
Yeah, no, we do.
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Okay, all right.
So
Well,
next
I
time.
love cheesecakes, by the way, and I love ice cream and things like that, but I just can't indulge. But all right, let's go.
So let's get it on. We'll start with the sauce. I'm just going to pop some cream on the heat. It's 150 mils of cream.
In Nigeria, they say the fire.
The fire.
Yeah, the stove
And
is
the
the fire.
Okay, then I'm going to make your biscuit base. So in here I've got 200 grams of flour.
Cool.
Butter, 100 grams, and sugar, 100 grams.
This is for the crust?
This is for the base, yeah, for the crust, the biscuit.
Beautiful. We're making the crust from scratch. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to work this together with your hands.
Okay.
Or you can pop it in a KitchenAid. And you're going to knead it, and you're going to end up with something looking like that.
Right.
So a fine crumb, and you're going to put this into the base of your cake.
So you sort of push it down,
Yeah, you pat it down.
in your baking pan, right?
In your baking pan.
Yeah.
And you pop it in the oven, 180 for 10 minutes.
Do you need like a special baking pan, like the ones that like kind of...
Well, this one's nice, it pops out. So the base pops out.
Oh, beautiful. Makes it easy to
makes
remove.
it easier.
Yeah.
And then you end up with that. It looks like a biscuit in the
This-
base of your pan.
So you put it on there, you put it in the oven for how long?
10 minutes.
Okay.
At 180.
Okay.
And you come out and you're basically making a biscuit.
Got you.
And that's what you get with this.
All right.
So I'm going to show you your base now.
All right.
You get 3 eggs.
Okay. All right.
And we're going to whisk this up with some sugar. 220 grams of sugar.
Right. How many of these do you think you make in your restaurant, let's say a day or a week?
We make about 5 of these a week, 5 or 6 a week.
Okay.
So 1 a day.
All right,
and
perfect.
then we have a whole bunch of other cakes. So we're going in there, 3 eggs, 220 grams of sugar. And we'll get that going so long.
That's normal sugar, not caster sugar or anything like that?
It's caster sugar, but you can use normal sugar as well.
Right, okay.
Cool. And then the cream cheese you're going to go in with.
All right.
This is 600 grams of cream cheese. Just normal full-fat cream cheese.
All right.
Not low
Okay.
fat. Yeah, let me stop this.
And you can't do this by hand if you don't have...
I wouldn't recommend it, no. You want to be able to use a KitchenAid for this.
The milk
or
is
some kind of
rising.
mix, yeah.
It is alive! So what do we do?
So that we can take off the heat.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to pop that into our... We're going to go back now to the ganache. So we're going to pop the chocolate into a jug.
This is dark chocolate.
This is dark chocolate, yes.
All right, and I see you've grated some orange, or what is that?
Orange zest. So
Beautiful.
you can use... The zest is really nice for recipes. You can pop it into an icing or something. You can change the flavor without altering the recipe, essentially. So you're not like adding more liquid or anything. You can pour the cream into this jug.
Okay.
And we're just going to let it sit there and slowly start melting.
Oh, wow. You don't have to do anything. It'll just happen.
Yeah, it will just happen.
Okay.
Cool.
Wow.
Cool, so we got this going. This is some vanilla going into the cheesecake.
For it to smell better.
There we go. And when we bake this, we're going to put this into a water bath.
Okay.
And that helps it bake even. Because you're baking eggs, you don't want it to scramble. So it helps it bake slower and bake even.
Right.
So we're going to put this tray into a water bath in another container.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do that with all your cakes, or can you do that with all your cakes?
No,
or
just your egg-based, because this is basically, we're baking a custard. That's what we're doing essentially.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So this is cream, 80 mils. We go in with that right at the end.
All right.
And then we'll take this mixture and we're going to be placing it in our cake tin.
All right.
And then, as I said, in a bain-marie, it's going into the oven on 160 for an hour. Takes a long time, nice long time. And you're going to want to take that out and let it sit in the fridge overnight.
Got you.
And then what we'll end up with is a beautiful cheesecake, looking something like this.
Wow.
That's nice.
You want to let your cake cool when you come out the oven, otherwise it cracks. Often cheesecakes crack.
Yeah.
That won't happen. That's from the drastic change in temperature.
Got you.
So if you let that cool slowly and then put it in the fridge, you won't get your cheesecake
Don't be in a hurry.
cracking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, and then what do we do with the chocolate? What happens now?
So now this, we're just going to give it a nice stir.
Okay.
Can we get one of those spatulas that you had?
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Is that cool?
That's good.
Cool.
So now you just want to melt this and this will come together.
Smells good.
That smells like a nice hot chocolate.
Hot chocolate. So it's known, the technical term
And
is...
the orange comes out as well. It's
Ganache.
insane.
What's the
Beautiful.
technical term?
Is a ganache.
Ganache.
So it's a glaze for the chocolate. Yeah, and this will set if you put it in the fridge. It's beautiful, nice little touch, and orange and chocolate always goes together, you know.
So this is what you prepare on a Saturday to eat on a Sunday with friends?
Yes, so you'd prepare this on a Saturday, all done. You can just whip it out with friends. You don't have to...
Just hang on. You don't pour this on the cake?
No, I'm going to pour this on the cake.
Oh, okay,
so
yeah,
now we've
yeah,
mixed
yeah.
it together.
Let's get the pouring, man.
And there we go, and it'll be mixed.
Get out of here, man. I mean, like, come on.
And it's easy as that. Doesn't have to be hard.
Yeah.
And nice and...
Looks good.
And that chocolate is not sweetened chocolate at all, right? So
No, that's dark chocolate, so 70% chocolate. You can use whatever.
Yeah. What did we use here?
We use 70% chocolate.
Ah, got you.
Yeah, it's
So got
nice,
some
not overly
sweetness to it.
sweet,
All right.
and
That looks gorgeous.
that's what you end up with. You can put some fresh orange on the top, some nuts. Beautiful.
Party in my mouth.
Yes.
There we
Wow.
go.
All right. Look, while you are salivating, for those of you who like to go out and check out new markets, there's a design market out in Newtown Junction in Johannesburg. We went out to go have a look so that you can have a look. Take a look at this.
Workshop Newtown is an innovative retail concept housed in a restored century-old railway shed. The shed is a local design market with an emphasis on fashion, including exciting tenants like Maria McCloy.
Hi, my name is Maria McCloy. We're right here at my space at Workshop Newtown. This complex is a complex full of South African designers, which is an awesome thing. In about 2007, I was at home in Lesotho. I met a guy on the side of the road making earrings. His name was Ntate David Makwai. And I was like, oh my God, those earrings are amazing. Please make them for me bigger. He's like, what? Your ear's gonna fall off. I'm like, well, I'm not a studs girl, not a small accessories girl. I've always been about big bangles, big earrings, bright colors, African prints. You know, that was my aesthetic. So then he made them big for me. I came back to Joburg, working in the television industry. I had a TV production company. On set, famous people wanted my earrings. My friends wanted the earrings. The people who worked for me wanted my earrings. So suddenly I started selling them. There was my brand. Even though I was a journalist and TV producer, suddenly I now had an earrings brand. So I was like, what am I going to call this earrings brand? And I thought of names, and then I was like, the name my parents gave me works very well, because every time someone was wearing my earrings, we'd be like, oh, are you wearing a Maria McCloy? So I was like, okay, there's the name.
Hosting a mix of designers from all over SA, the 40-plus stalls showcase the very best of local design with brands carefully chosen to create an ideal mix of established names as well as up-and-coming talent.
The name of the brand is Sarah Parkies, and it's actually inspired by Sarki Bartman. My business partner, you know, her body can only be described as Sarki Bartman. And when we started the business, we were thinking about the women we want to speak to, the people we want to speak to, and the people that we're actually designing for. And that's African women. It's women with curves, women, you know, who don't get their clothes just anywhere because the market is not catering for them. Today, if Farah Fortune was amongst us, we would like her to know that her curves have options.
Although Workshop Newtown has a variety of bars, restaurants and stores under its roof, what ties it all together is that everything is proudly South African.
We also have an ethos that's very much about keeping things African. You know, we're finally growing now into a space where we can afford to have our fabrics woven in South Africa, dyed in South Africa. Everything is made in South Africa. So it's about this place and ourselves as people and how we want to reflect ourselves in the world around us. And Sarki Bartman for us is just the most iconic African woman.
Just as this design hub celebrates the diversity of the Rainbow Nation, Khanyi's thoughtfully designed clothing also celebrates the diversity of women's bodies and style.
Ideally, a garment needs to be able to be rolled up into your luggage, you know, and then when you get to wherever you're going, you should be able to either put on some sandals, do your running around, or rock your all-stars, go to work, do whatever you need to do. When you've got that evening function, all you need to do is put on some heels and it'll come to the party. We don't bother with unnecessary details. We're looking for long-term quality, a garment that's going to speak to who you want to represent yourself as.
Maria's collection of accessories isn't just being bold and making a statement, it's also about being proud of one's African heritage and being able to show it regularly.
I was doing publicity for other things, like a movie called Viva Riva. And whilst working on Viva Riva, I was like, what am I going to give media as a gift at the end of the movie that links with African culture? I was like, why don't I give them a clutch bag made of Congolese fabric, as Viva Riva is a Congolese movie. So I made these clutches, gave it to media, and voila, I had my next product. In 2012, I had the idea of like, the bags are great, but not everyone is a bag person, everyone is a shoe person. I was walking around the bridal shop and I saw shoes covered in African print, and I was like, I think I should start doing this. So I started going to shops that sold shoes for rather cheaply and I started covering them. And that's kind of what really made me blow up. African culture shouldn't just be relegated to weddings, special occasions, something traditional or Heritage Day. And that's only happened because of colonialism and apartheid. Those gave a kind of self-hate, and they gave us this sense like we're not as sexy as the rest of the world when we're doing something traditional. Like, let's relegate that. My message is, we're going to kill all of that. We're going to wear African culture every day. Because from north, south, west, east, when you put your finger on the map of Africa, there's something amazing, creative in our history. Let's use it in our fashion. Africa's magic. So I'm putting all of our African heritage into something sexy, stylish, contemporary, linked to global fashion, but very rooted in Africa. That gives its wow factor.
Open 7 days a week, Workshop Newtown is the ideal market to visit when you want to spoil yourself with something special and well-crafted while supporting the local design industry.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekend edition. I'd like to know what you're having this Sunday, because we're having loads of great food. If you'd like to know how to make these dishes, all you need to do is just go to our Facebook page, which is the weekend edition, and you'll find every step and every idea there. On Twitter and Instagram, to share your experience, hashtag the weekend edition and the weekend on 3. So see you after the break as we eat this food and have more music. See you now.
All right, welcome back to the weekend edition. My man Devin is still in the kitchen whipping it up, and we're gonna feast in just a short moment. But Farah, you did a Draw My Life thing earlier, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I think now would be the perfect time for us to get into your life via Draw My Life.
I hope they know I can't draw, so don't expect the world.
All right, well, I'm sure it's a good one. So take a look at this. This is Farah Fortune drawing her life.
This is Draw My Life by Farah Fortune. I was born at the hospital near the waterfront, and that's my mama and that's me. and I was born in Cape Town by Table Mountain. From 6 years old to 10 years old, I lived in Kimberley. Yes, that's the big hole in Kimberley. And I absolutely loved it. It was my best memories of my childhood come from Kimberley. I remember Belgium specifically for its absolutely delicious waffles. And I lived there from the age of 10 to the age of 13. Went to school there and learned so much about life in that time. Lived in England from the age of 13 to 26. I studied law at Manchester Metropolitan University, and I remember one of the first things I seen in London was going to look at the Queen's crown. When I was 26, and I absolutely was in love. I was young, so that's my excuse. And then I got divorced after I had a beautiful little baby girl. This is my terrible, terrible drawing of Africa. Please forgive me, Africa. I came home in 2004, and I've been here ever since. I had started my company, African Star Communications, in 2008, and I don't regret anything. I met Clint Eastwood. Okay, I didn't meet him. I bullied my way into a restaurant where he was eating, and I popped up by his table and asked him to come to my event that was happening next door, and he said he would, and then 20 minutes later he actually turned up and he spent the entire night there. My gorgeous staff are all here, all the ladies that work for me, and I absolutely love them and appreciate their time they give to the company. That's the story of my life. I've traveled the world, but my heart is definitely in Africa and definitely in African Star because it's all mine.
I can personally say, and I'm sure you feel the same way at home, that she can't draw. She mustn't draw. She must just make legends, icons, history people in music and life, but she mustn't draw.
Hire graphic designer.
No, yeah, or something,
Yeah.
but just leave the pencil alone. The next song is called Yakhala Inkomo. Let's hear it. Ngala inkomo. Are we going to the kitchen?
Yeah, we're gonna eat, but we're gonna eat after the show. You guys have to get back to your Sundays. We're gonna get into the kitchen. Devin's still doing his thing. Once again, thank you for joining us. Thanks to all our guests, Nomfundo, Farah, Lisa, and did I miss anyone?
Nobody, just enjoy your Women's Day and see you same time, same place on Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on SABC3.
All right, bye.
Goodbye.